Welcome to something short and sweet in the Parsha. This week, Parshas Beha'aloscha. How do you treat someone that you love? Let's take a look at the behavior of the Ribono Shel Olam. The beginning of Shalishi, the Torah relates the fact that Klal Yisroel brought a korban Pesach. The second year, the first month of that year of our journey in the desert. And Rashi asked the question, why does the Torah wait until now to relate this story? After all, the beginning of Bamidbar, which talks about the counting of the Jewish people, happened in Iyar, in the second month of the second year of the traveling in the desert. And Rashi answers, Lo Pasach Bezu, the book of Bamidbar does not begin with this narrative. Because this story is an embarrassment. An embarrassment. If you look into it, you will find that in the 40 years of the Jewish people in the desert, this is the only time they gave the korban Pesach. Why is that? Because they or their children were arelim, were uncircumcised. Because, as the Gemara explains, it was dangerous to have circumcision in the midbar, and therefore they had to wait, and therefore they couldn't have a circumcision, and therefore they couldn't bring the korban Pesach. So why is that an embarrassment? They were in the desert. Oh, one needs to reason. Why were they in the desert for 40 years? That is the problem. That's because of the sin of the spies. So, I ask you, anywhere in this parsha does it say anything negative about Klal Yisrael? No, it only says positive. They brought the korban Pesach. So a person has to examine the situation. And a person says to himself, oh, this time they brought the korban Pesach. But this was the only time. It doesn't say it in the book. It doesn't say it in the story. And then you have to think, oh, this was the only time. Why was it the only time? Because they were arelim. Why were they arelim? Because they couldn't do it in the midbar. Why were they in the midbar? Oh, that's the sin. Does that sound like a major disgrace? And yet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't write this in his Torah in the very beginning, but rather, as the Sefer Mayon HaYeshua HaShavua so beautifully explains, HaKadosh Baruch Hu waited for this story, which in such a distant way has some element, only some element of disgrace, after writing about his love for Klal Yisrael by numbering them, after writing about the regal, royal appearance of Klal Yisrael as they were in the desert, situated by tribes, situated around the Aron Kodesh. After the Torah describes the karbanos of the dedication of the Mishkan, and how proud, the Torah describes how proud HaKadosh Baruch Hu was of Klal Yisrael, and therefore they even did it on Shabbos because it was done in such a beautiful way. And after all of those narratives, the Torah says that they brought the korban Pesach. My friends, HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaches us something so beautiful. When we love someone, we don't want to get anywhere near saying something negative about them. Even if something could be thought, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of that. It doesn't even say it. And yet, this is someone that I care about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Am Yisrael. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu related this story in such a way that it would deflect, it would diminish, it would temper any aspect of negativity, of goodness, of disgrace about Klal Yisrael. The message is clear. We're talking about our parents. We're talking about a spouse. It's not funny to make a joke about a spouse. We're talking about Klal Yisrael. I remember teaching high school Sometimes the boys would make Jewish jokes. Someone who loves his people does not make a Jewish joke. Someone who loves those close to him does not make a joke. It's not funny. And even to say something which tangentially might appear to bring about a negative thought, that's no way to go. Kodesh Baruch Hu teaches us how to honor the loved ones. Have a very good Shabbos. Thanks for listening.